Hello, everyone. Welcome to class. So I'm just making sure that the sound is working. So because we only have 30 minutes, I'm gonna get started right away. You can either watch this practice and take notes if you like, but what I have done so far is that I have in these live sessions, I have workshopped ways to put a bunch of random poses together. I pick them randomly, and then how to put them in a cohesive sequence in a cohesive class. But today, what I like to do is just do a class. So not really talking about how to connect poses together, but just the class. So if you want to just watch, that's fine. Or if you want to practice, that's perfectly fine too. You can take notes, do whatever you need to do. So today we have half moon pose, eagle pose, warrior three. Those three poses are pretty good together. And again, they just came out randomly. But then we have Sphinx pose and side plank. And because half moon pose is a peak pose, then I'm going, or some of them are peak poses, I'm going to start by accessing the modifications or the variations to begin with. So for those who are joining me in the practice, begin at the front of the mat, standing in Tadasana or mountain pose. And let's take a look down to the feet first so we can spread the toes. It is nice to be able to sink into the floor and to notice the breath here. And I'm just going to turn the camera actually down a bit so the light is a bit better. Perfect. So standing in Tadasana and feeling the feet nice and grounded here. It's almost like we are in a conversation with the ground, with the floor, feeling how the floor is supporting us and how we are allowing ourselves to stand on the floor. You may look down, turn, and open the toes nice and wide. You can lift the toes up, bring them down just to feel yourself grounded. Lift your heels and bring the heels back down, also just to feel the back of the feet grounded. And thinking about the crown of the head reaching up to the ceiling. It's like the shoulders up to the ears, all the way back and all the way down. Let's take a deep inhale through the nose and through the mouth, exhale. And once again through the nose, inhale. And through the mouth, exhale. Inhale to reach your hands up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, forward fold, chest to your thighs as you place both hands down to the floor or hands to your shins. Inhale, lengthen through the spine, chest forward, halfway. And as you exhale, draw belly to spine as you bring the upper body down to your thighs. Head is heavy here. Feel free to micro bend the knees. Just a couple more breaths here. Head is heavy. And then on the next exhalation, step your right leg back and the left. So we're going to begin in plank pose today. Shoulders back. Crown of the head is reaching forward. Option to lower knees or keep your knees off the floor. And staying here just for 2 more cycles of breath. Continue to bring the space between the shoulder blades up to the ceiling. Continue to spread your hands nice and wide. And then shift the pelvis back into a downward facing dog. Look to your hands. This is just a transition. And bring both feet closer to each other as you step your right foot forward between the hands. Turn the back foot out to the side and bring the front forearm on top of the thigh. This is going to be our modified half moon pose for now. Shoulders down, belly stays engaged. Option 2, bring the foot closer in or even take the back foot a little bit further back. Shoulders down. Option 2, open up your bottom arm, looking up to the ceiling, and imagine a straight line from the fingertips all the way to the back foot. Breathe here, perhaps smile. And then on the next inhalation, let's reach the bottom hand in line with the head and the top arm. So it's like we're holding onto an imaginary beach ball here. And then slowly start to return both hands back down to the floor. Slowly start to walk your hands forward, float the back leg off the floor, almost like you're moving into a standing split. Slowly begin to come up to standing, bringing the left knee in toward your chest. Bend your knee and take your left thigh on top of the right for eagle legs. You can bring the hands to the pelvis for now. Or begin to find your eagle arms as well, left arm underneath the right elbow, shoulders down, as you take both elbows off the chest. Keep reaching the crown of the head up to the ceiling. Bend your knees a little bit more. On the next inhalation, bringing the left knee back into the chest as you lower the left foot down, soften both hands down, back into Tadasana. Breathe here. Shoulders up, back and down. Inhale to bring both arms up. As you exhale, chest to your thighs and forward fold. Let's do a halfway up inhale, shoulders back. And as you exhale, back down to your forward fold. Left leg, right leg, step back into plank. Hold plank for 3 cycles of breath. So hopefully this feels familiar because we've done this before already. Keep breathing here. And 1 more cycle of breath. Downward dog transition. Shift pelvis back. Keep looking between your hands. Micro bend knees. Bring both feet together. And then step your left foot forward between the hands as you turn the back foot out to the side. Keeping the front knee following the same direction as the toes and placing the front forearm on top of the thigh. Right arm close to the ear. So creating a straight line from the fingertips, the top fingertips, all the way to the back foot. Continue to draw the shoulders down, option to look up. And then bringing bottom arm also to follow the same direction as top arm. Imagine you're holding onto that imaginary beach ball. 1 more breath. And then slowly begin to lower both hands down to the floor. Shift forward for standing splits transition. Continue to come up to standing. Keep floating your right knee into your chest. And then place your right thigh on top of the left, hands to your hips just to find the hips square for now. And then taking the right underneath the left. Breathe here for eagle arms. Keep lifting the elbows up, shoulders down. Perhaps bend your knees a little bit more here. Stay here. I'm just going to quick check if there is any comments. Perfect. Continue to breathe here. Now with the next inhalation, taking your knee back into your chest, lower the foot down as you soften both hands back down to the floor. Inhale to bring both arms up. As you exhale, chest to your thighs, forward fold. Inhale halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Right, left leg step back into plank. Shoulders back. Option to stay here or feel free to move through a cycle of vinyasa. So chaturanga as you lower chest, belly, pelvis. Inhaling cobra or upward facing dog. Feel free to keep the knees down to begin with. And then tuck toes under as you shift back into downward facing dog. Look between hands, feet together, and then step your right foot forward between the hands as you turn the back foot out to the side. Slowly placing your right hand in front of the right toes as you take your left arm up to the ceiling or hand to your hip. Breathe here. You slowly begin to heel to the back foot forward. We're not going to go into half moon quite yet. Keep bringing the belly to spine. Keep looking down. This is your preparation. Take one more deep inhale. As you exhale, heel to the back foot a little bit further back again. As you slowly move into warrior two. Breathe here, shoulders down. Hands to pelvis. Square the hips. Shift forward into your eagle, left leg over the right. Find your focal point, your drishti. And bring the left elbow underneath the right. Find eagle arms. Shoulders down. If you fall, just come back up. And then slowly taking the left knee into your chest, hands to your hips. As you begin to shift the left leg back, so this is our warrior three. Shoulders back. Now option, keeping your hands back, or begin to reach both arms toward the front space. Micro bend the right knee. Keep the hips square and keep bringing the toes or pointing the left toes down to the floor. Now, here's the fun part. Hands to the floor into standing splits. Feel free to micro bend your right knee as much as you need to. Shoulders back. Step your left leg back like you're in a lunge again. Right leg back. Breathe. Shoulders back. Right forearm comes down to the floor. Left forearm comes down to the floor into dolphin plank. And because it's a plank, let's hold it just for a few cycles of breath, about 3 cycles of breath. Last cycle of breath here. Lower both knees down. Flatten the feet, shoulders back. As you bring your chest forward into Sphinx Pose. Option to let the head soften down to your chin. Continue to draw belly to spine. We want to feel that the back bend is happening through all the vertebrae in the spine. Because some parts of the spine are more flexible than others, let's try not to just focus on one area just so we can get a back extension, but begin to visualize and embody a back bend that equally incorporates all the vertebrae. Keep pressing the shoulders down as you continue to reach the crown of the head up. Now, slowly take the toes, tuck them under. Open the elbows out to the sides and take both hands underneath shoulders as you press yourselves back into plank. Bring both feet close to each other. Lower the left knee down. Pivot left foot, or left knee actually, so the left foot comes to the outside of the mat. Turn the right foot down as you take your right arm up to the ceiling. Option to float your right leg up. And breathe. Inhale to reach higher, exhale to lower, hand down. As you now step back into plank, shift pelvis back into a quick downward dog. Look forward between the hands and step your right foot forward, shoulders down. Breathe here. And then step the left leg forward, shoulders back, forward fold. Inhale halfway up, look forward. Exhale back down to your forward fold. Open the arms and take yourselves all the way up to standing, hands together at the top. And as you exhale, hands in prayer position in front of the chest. Inhale to bring both arms up. As you exhale, chest to your thighs and forward fold. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Step your legs back into plank. Shoulders back. Option to stay here or chaturanga if you're getting tired. You can also Come up into Child's Pose. Or if you're Vinyasa and going through upward facing dog, downward dog. And then shifting back into your plank pose. This time, stepping your left leg forward between the hands, shoulders back, turn the back foot out to the side, and then bringing the left hand in front of the left foot or right hand to the hip, heel toe the back foot a little bit further forward. This is our half moon prep. You can always shift weight to the left hand and bring the back foot further back. So just playing with that gentle shift back and forth without really taking the back foot off the floor. Keep the belly engaged. And then slowly with the next inhalation, return the back foot further back if you did bring it forward. And then windmill the arms into your warrior two. Both hands to your hips. Square the hips, shoulders down. As you begin to shift the weight forward into your eagle. So taking your right thigh on top of the left. Or right elbow underneath the left. Find your eagle. Elbows off the chest as you lower further down. Keep breathing here. And stay here. Just check in. Everything is okay. So in plank pose, once we get there, the body is at a 45-degree slant. I'll talk about it once we get there. Now from here, taking the knee into the chest, hands to your hips, moving into warrior three. Start to bend your left knee as you reach your right heel back and chest down, bringing the body into parallel here. So one straight line. Imagine like you're trying to create a letter T shape. Hands stay there or reach your arms forward. Keep breathing. Continue to notice that relationship with your standing foot and the floor. And then both hands come down to the floor. This is like a standing splits transition. And then you slowly step your right leg back, left leg back, shoulders back. If you need a break, take a break. Or vinyasa. Your break can be child's pose or downward dog. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe here. Shifting the weight back into plank. Now, in plank, there is two ways we can do this. We can keep the crown of the head to tailbone parallel to the floor. That's one way. Or we can lower pelvis slightly. So now it becomes one straight line from the crown of the head all the way to the heel. I feel that this version engages the core a little bit better. Now from here, option to chaturanga again if you like. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And as you exhale, back into downward dog. Now second plank here, return the weight forward. Lower left forearm down, right forearm down into your dolphin plank. Same idea, shoulders back. Try to keep a straight line from the crown of the head to the heels behind you. Option to lower the knees down. 2 more cycles of breath. And then lower the pelvis down, shoulders back for your Sphinx Pose. Option 1 is to stay here in your Sphinx Pose. Option 2 is to press the hands as you begin to extend the elbows. I like to call this pose baby pose because I feel like it's how babies try to come up higher from the floor when they're lying down in a prone position. So my friends that have the elbows off the floor, lower the elbows back down. Let's take both hands underneath shoulders, tuck toes under, press back up into plank, lower both knees down, pivot the right, left leg is straight, turn the left foot out to the side as you take the left arm up. And it's very important to think about this right hand slightly in front of the shoulder because we're going to use it later for side plank. So looking down, looking up, option to float your left leg off the floor. Breathe here. Inhale to reach the limbs a little higher. Lower hand, lower leg. And then this time, what I'm going to do is a little bit different than before. Let's go back into plank, step the left foot forward once again, even though we already did this before, but it's going to tie our transitions nicely later. Turn the back foot out to the side, right hand to the right hip, half moon pose. So we begin our sequence again, but this time is half moon on the left side. Option to bend your knee, holding onto your right ankle with the right hand. Micro bend left knee if needed. Also option to float the left arm off the floor. And then slowly start to release the right leg. Right hand to right hip. Micro bend the left leg. This is the fun part. Coming all the way up to standing. Lots of stability here. Eagle pose. So bringing right over left and right elbow under left. Find your elbows here. Breathe. Stay. I'm just going to check comments quickly. Keep breathing. From eagle, hands to pelvis. Right knee to chest. Let's find our warrior three. Reaching the arms forward. Keep pressing the heel to the back space. One more breath. And then slowly lower the hands down. Now option is to lower the right leg back and then step into plank, or here's another fun part. Plant your hands, bend your left knee a lot and hop back into plank. You can lower chaturanga. Inhale cobra or upper facing dog. And as you exhale, back into downward facing dog. Bringing both legs close to each other, shift forward into plank. Left elbow comes down because we started this side on the left side. Let's try to do the left side first. And then right elbow comes down, lower both knees, shoulders down into Sphinx Pose. Let's take 3 cycles of breath here. Breathe, breathe, breathe. In the Sphinx, it's also nice to bring the big toes together as you let the heels soften away from each other. So the legs are internally rotated. And then slowly tucking toes under, slide elbows away from each other, bring both hands underneath shoulders, shoulders back, press back up into your plank pose, and then you're starting to stack both legs. If you want to go back to this variation of bringing the left knee down, go ahead. Or stacking right over left. The right hand reaches up to the ceiling, looking up or down. Any variation here that you like, or stay where you are. You can also keep one foot in front of the other as you keep both legs straight. 2 more cycles of breath. And then slowly look to your mat. Let's flow the right leg as you bring the right leg forward and step your right leg forward between the hands. Turn the back foot out to the side, and now we are on the other side to do half moon on the other side. So right hand to slightly in front of the right toes. Left hand to your left hip. Heel to the back foot a little bit further forward as you then begin to float into half moon. Option to bend your left knee as you hold into the left ankle and breathe here. One more cycle of breath. And then slowly soften the right leg as you begin to release the foot. Coming up to standing, you can bring the hands together to find more stability. And then take your left thigh on top of right. Find your focal point. Left elbow underneath right. This is your eagle. Shoulders down. Breathe here. From eagle, take your knee back into your chest, hands to your pelvis, warrior three. As you press your foot to the back space, reach the upper body forward. Begin to bring the upper body into a letter T shape, hands back, forward or to the hips. Soften the right knee if needed. And then slowly on the next exhale, both hands come down, either step your left leg back and then move into plank, or plant the hands down, bend your right knee a lot, and hop right leg back into plank. Take a break if you need to, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, or upward facing dog. And then exhale back into downward facing dog. Shift back to plank. Lower right elbow, left elbow to your dolphin plank. Both knees come down. Shoulders back into your Sphinx. Option to press hands, lengthen elbows for baby pose. Just to go deeper into that extension of the spine. Inhale to reach crown of the head higher. Exhale to lower. Slide elbows away from each other, tuck toes under, plank pose. And then begin to shift to the right side. So right hand is slightly in front of the right shoulder. Left arm comes up to the ceiling. Looking down or looking up. Breathe here. 2 more cycles of breath. And the next exhalation, instead of lowering the hand down, pick up your foot, step it all the way forward, just to match the transition we did before, but this time, step your back leg forward, heel till the feet away from each other. Turn out your feet, bend your knees, find Malasana, hands together, shoulders down, breathe. Option 2, bring weight on your hands if you need to. You could also lift your heels off the floor. 2 more cycles of breath. And then slowly taking both hands back as you place your pelvis on the floor. Bring your feet forward and take your hands forward, shoulders down, as you begin to roll down through the spine. Let's take both knees to the chest and press both knees in. Let's open both arms in line with shoulders as you take both knees to the right side. Feel free to place the right hand on top of the left knee. Keep pressing left shoulder down to the floor. And then slowly both knees come back to the center, to the left, left hand to the right knee, right shoulder presses down into the floor. And then from belly, come back to the center. Let's move into cannonball, so chest up, head up. You can take both hands outside of the feet. So this is cannonball pose. You can bring both knees a bit wide so the head fits between the knees. And then lower all the way down as you release yourself in Shavasana. And close your eyes. We're not going to be here for too long. Feel free to also stay here longer if you like. And just the same way that we connected with the floor when we were standing in Tadasana, the same way that we're trying to establish a conversation between the feet and the floor underneath them. Also notice here how your body is sinking onto the mat, onto the floor, how the body is talking to the ground and is asking to be received, how the body is asking to be supported. So each exhalation is an opportunity to behavior to soften. And feel free to stay here for as long as you like. It is my pleasure to guide you through this quick practice today. Have a wonderful rest of the day. If there are any more comments, I will answer them soon. Thank you. Namaste.